Well, hello there. This video is probably a little bit late, but I thought I would let you know what I liked and disliked last year. I think there was more things that I liked than disliked. It's not a huge list, but I just thought I'd share them with you because, you know, why the hell not? You might be interested, you might not. And if you are, then thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all that stuff. Really helps me out and I absolutely love it. So let's jump into the video. So I'm going to do a little bit of skincare first. I usually just hit on makeup, but I got this, and I got one for Christmas as well, which is the Vinci Mineral 89 Probiotic Fractions. Now, I just use this as a serum, so I'll cleanse, tone, and then I'll put this on as a serum before I put my moisturiser on, and I absolutely love it. It's hard to describe what it does to my skin, but it just makes my skin feel so nice. Whether it's dry or oily, it just works. It just works on my skin tone. It's a concentrated serum and it is a little bit pricey, but it is worth every single penny. So another thing that I really liked was La Roche-Posay Aqua Gel in SPF 30, which is an anti-photo-aging, repairing and repumping concentrate. Now this is really nice for like the day. I generally tend to use this at night, but this I'll put on before my moisturiser in the day, and it's just really nice. It's got an SPF of 30 in it, so you know it works well with my moisturiser. It doesn't like make everything really bitter as well. It's just a really nice. So one thing that I didn't like is from Give Me, and now I didn't dislike all of it, but I bought the set from TikTok shop. Again, I fell into a TikTok hole like I usually do, and I bought the whole set. Now it comes with a cleansing balm, which I quite liked. That's nice for taking your makeup off, and it also came with an eye cream, which I quite liked. That was quite nice. The face serum, the toner and the moisturiser, I didn't really like. The face serum with hyaluronic acid and retinol in it, I just found was a little bit harsh. I do have a hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary, which I do quite like, which I just use a couple of times a week. Now with this being a face toner and this is meant to be like an everyday set, it's just a bit too much every day, maybe a couple of times a week, and it's an anti-aging formula that firms and moisturises the skin. It says press the serum lightly, firmly and evenly into the skin, which I did, but it was just a little bit harsh. It seemed to dry my skin out a little bit, and the face toner was nah, you know. Yeah, I've got nothing to say about it really. And that's got retinol and witch hazel in it as well, and if anybody knows, witch hazel is an astringent, so again it was a little bit drying. And then the day cream, which again had retinol in it, was okay. It's like a nice consistency. I'll show you this. It's like a nice consistency, and it moisturised okay, but with the drying of the other two products, then I just needed a little bit more from the moisturiser. So I've tried to like switch them out with other products to try and use them up, but yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with those. One thing I did love, which I bought in 2022, which I was probably late to the party with, was my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue. Absolutely loved it. I will be buying it again. It's pricey and a little bit goes a long way. I mean, I've still got quite a bit left in there, but I did love it, and yes, I would absolutely buy it again. I've got like 3 blushes that I absolutely loved, 2 powder and 1 cream. So I really loved this Fenty Beauty cream blusher, and I got the shade Summertime Wine, which looks really dark, but it's not. Once you get it on and you blend it, you don't need a lot. Once you get it on and you kind of blend it, if you just put like a little bit on, I mean, look at that, and it's just really nice. It's super creamy. I know it's a cream product, but some cream products I find can be, if you a little bit draggy or a little bit too much, and they don't blend well. This blended really well, and I just loved it. And it's part of Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream blush. But I think I bought this on the counter at Boots. Absolutely loved it. So I also really like this, and I think I've mentioned this in a couple of favourites videos, was the Rimmel Maxi Blush in 006 Exposed. I love it. It's a perfect all year round blush. Use it in the summer, use it in the winter. It's just really nice. Absolutely love it. It is spot on. And one of my absolute favourites is my Kimchi blush. I love kimchi products. I don't think I've got a kimchi product that I didn't like, but I've not got loads of kimchi anyway. And this was the Tailor brush in Pinky Rose. Now it is super pigmented, you only need a little bit. It's a little bit powdery, but I'm not mad about it. I just love it. I love the packaging. It's really nice. You don't really have to blend too much if you just go with a light hand. If you go too heavy handed, then it's not going to work, but absolutely love this blush. Okay, so next thing is some bronzers. Now I'm just trying to pick a couple of each that I like, that I really did gravitate towards within the year, because I feel like if I pick loads up out, it's not like a favourites or flops video. I didn't really have any blushes that I really dislike. Bronzers and contour. I bought the Be Perfect Shape Stick in Caramel, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's brilliant for just going straight on. You can put it on the back of your hand and get brought on with a brush, but I loved it, and it's the perfect. I love the triangle shape of it. And it's brilliant for like nose contour and just really getting in there, and I just absolutely love it. I'll probably buy some other colours. I'm not this colour works for me, but I'm not sure it's going to work all year round, so I think I got shade Caramel, and I bought this from Boots, so absolutely loved that. That was really nice. Another one that I liked that I have mentioned before in some favourites videos is the Wet n Wild bronzer in Bikini Contest, and I absolutely love it. It's a brilliant soft bronzer that just works. It gives you a sun-kissed glow. I mean, the name is Bikini Contest. It gives you a lovely like sun-kissed glow, or if for an everyday look in the winter, if you just, this just nearly fell off my lap, if you're just going for just a nice bronzed look, simple eye, this is brilliant. And it's actually really good as like a transition colour through the crease. Absolutely love it. I bought that from Beauty Bay, and I will definitely try some more Wet n Wild bronzers. Another one that I really loved was the BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle Palette. Now this has got bronzers and highlighters in it, and these two bronzers were just a brilliant. That is meant to be like, I think that one's meant to be more like a highlighter than a bronzer, because you usually get 3 bronzers and 3 highlighters. But you've got Buttermilk, Batter Cinnamon, Powdered Sugar Syrup and Maple. Now that highlighter is a no-go for me. It's more of a eyeshadow colour, but these two highlighters really nice, and the bronzers absolutely spot on. I just need to wipe this finger off before I can show you it, but love them. Battered, and that's cinnamon, and they're not too powdery, they're just really like a soft formula. They're brilliant for my skin tone. Just absolutely amazing, just amazing bronzers. Give me a lovely warm look without being too orange, which I do find with having quite pale skin, a pale complexion, that some bronzers can be a bit orange, and I just don't like it. One that I wasn't impressed with was a W7 Bronze Brilliance Bronze and Glow. I've bought it and used it like once. This is the bronzing colour. It's just a little bit muddy for me. The highlighters are okay. They're just alright. They're not, you know, they're nothing to write home about. Let's say the bronze is just a bit muggy. I found it quite hard to blend. Whether it was the products that I used underneath it, whether it was my base products, I don't know. We'll continue to use it and see if I can get it to work for me, but I just didn't like it. I just thought that the bronze colour was just, it may work on other people, but I just thought the colour was a bit muddy looking. It wasn't very bronze. It wasn't even like a contour. It just looked like meh on my skin, just really muddy. Let's say these are just my opinions though. It may have worked for you, but I didn't really like it. I think I ordered it from the W7 website, but yeah, it wasn't really for me. Okay, so I've got a few, I've got like 5 mascaras here. So I've got the Techniques Mega Lash Water Resistant Mascara. This is an okay mascara. I wouldn't say it was an absolute favourite, but I do kind of reach for it as an everyday mascara. Absolutely just brilliant for every day. Is it one that I would be like, yeah, it's absolutely amazing? No, but it's alright. It's got a plasticky wand. I think that's what makes it not an absolute favourite. The wand's a little bit scratchy on that. And Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High. Say no more. Amazing. And one thing, one mascara that I really, really like, that is a drugstore mascara, it's quite cheap, is the Aldi. I can never say it, is it Laruca mascara? It's really nice. I love it for just giving me just length on my lashes. It's got a really like thin wand and I just love it. I absolutely love it. So, a couple that I didn't really like, one high-end and one drugstore. So, the Mon Cherie Big Lancome mascara. I bought this on the way back from Benidorm in the duty free and it still cost me like €27 or something like ridiculous like that. And I just think it's glue pair, the wand's quite thick, it just gives me gloopy lashes. I will continue to use it like I do with all my products just because I don't want to waste my money. I pay for everything myself. It's nearly €30. It just pants, it's glue pair, it falls on your face, it's bitty, it's just crap. And the 5D Lash Pout Volumizing Mascara from Makeup Revolution. You kind of push, so to open this you kind of like push it and pull it out. And the wand is massive. Again, it's glue pair, doesn't really do anything but make my eyelashes black and glue pair. I think it's trying to give a thickening effect, but just making it look like I've not washed last night's mascara off and put more on. Not a good look at all. Okay, so some eyebrow favourites. I haven't really, with me it's the colour. If something says it's dark brown, I want it to be dark brown. I don't want it to be like have a red tone to it. So there were some products that didn't match my colour expectations, but the products were good. So I'm not really going to mention them in a fail because they weren't like a full fail, just get your colour right. And it wasn't just one brand that did that, it was quite a few brands. So it must just be like a universal, can't get a dark brown, it's a dark brown, it's always got to have a red tint to it. But I did love my NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Espresso. I love this. It's just super skinny and it just, I mean, it's a true brown colour. I know I'm blonde but I like dark eyebrows, you know, it's just the way I roll. So, absolutely love that. I also loved the Beauty Bay Brush Up Brows Brow Soap, and you just spray a bit of setting spray on it and it just turns into like a glue. It just makes them stay in place all day. Absolutely love that. I'll probably buy that again. And I also love the combination of the Beauty Bay Brow Pencil and Brow Fixer. So this is like a gel and it comes on a little spooler. And you just brush that through your brows, and I generally tend to set the brows with the brow soap and then put this pencil on. This is the shade Bark and that is this pencil right there, and again just a proper brown colour, and then just kind of go over any like wispy brows that have been missed with that. It's just an amazing combination. I absolutely love it, and I've just been gravitating towards it for every day, full glam, for everything. Loved it. I think this is the brow pencil I used on my brows today. I didn't use the fixing gel, but this is the brow pencil that I used. Okay, so I've got a couple of concealers here. I'm going to start off with my fail, which was the Collection 16 Hour Lasting Perfection Blemish Concealer. Now, it wasn't bad, it was just a bit thick of a consistency for me. I went for a really light one. I just found that it kind of like creased on my under eye a little bit. You really had to like be careful setting it because it just yeah, it just didn't sit right under my eyes. There was other things that sat better. Now, I did like the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer in a matte finish. Now, believe it or not, this wasn't as thick as of a consistency. It just sat better under my eyes. Whether it was that it was a bit lighter in colour, I don't know, because this one I went for a very light one as well, because that was kind of like the trend at the time, to go really light on your under eye. But I did prefer the e.l.f. to the collection. The collection just seemed to dry out my under eye. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it just looked, after a couple of hours, it just looked like I had a lot of wrinkles. I've got wrinkles anyway, but it just accentuated those wrinkles. Now, I did buy the NARS pot concealer in light 2 vanilla in soft matte, and I use this. I have used this on my under eye, and I use it as like a spot concealer as well, or even like a base for my eyeshadow. I'm probably pretty late to the game with this one. I only bought it in 2022, but I did love it. It's not something that I use every single day, because I have got a few blemishes at the moment, but blemishes aren't something that I often suffer with, so it's not something that I use all the time, but I did love it, and it did give me coverage without being cakey. When I use it with my under eye, I do combine it with a more liquidy concealer, just because I don't want it to look too much. So just put a little bit of this on, and then maybe a lighter concealer, just to get the right colour and consistency. And my absolute favourite concealer 2022 was my Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. Love this. I bought this in Boots, but again, I will mention, it's just so hard to get out, and if you pull it out too hard, it flicks everywhere, and it's an expensive concealer, but I just love the consistency of that. It's not too liquidy, it's not too thick. You could use it all over. You could just put it on your under eye and blend it all over the face, and then just put some light products on, and you could be done for the day. It's pricey, but worth it. I absolutely loved this concealer, and I will continue to use it in 2023. It is one of my all-time favourites, and I will probably purchase it again because I absolutely loved it. So, highlighters. I bought a few highlighters. I've got a couple of highlighters in 2022, but I didn't really gravitate towards them. So I've really got one favourite and one fail, and one kind of meh one that I liked, but it's not something that I gravitate towards, which is this Splendour Ultra Glow highlighter in Soul Glazed. Now, I think when I bought this, I think I was going for a bronzer, then picked up the wrong thing and ended up with this. And it's a huge, massive highlighter pan. I love the packaging on it, and it's a nice highlighter. It's just a nice everyday highlighter. It's something that I do gravitate towards on a day-to-day basis, rather than like a full glam that, you know, it's okay. It's fine. It'd be nice on the lids as well. I don't know if I'm ever going to use all of this. I mean, look at the size of it. It is huge. So, I don't think it was megally expensive, so I wasn't really mad that I picked up the wrong thing. But, there we go. I also picked up the L'Oreal Glow Mon Amour highlighting drops. Now, I don't really like these. I don't know why I don't like them. They're really glowy and everything, but I just feel like when I put them on top of a product, they just don't work that well for me. Once you blend it, you get a nice glow. It's a nice simple glow, but everything that I put them on top of, they just didn't seem to work with. Whether it was that I was using the wrong type of products, but I didn't really like it. Okay, and one highlighter that I gravitate towards, I got this in the sale last January from Next, and this is the Step Bright Up Extra Dimension Skin Finish Palette from MAC. Now, this I don't really gravitate towards because that is not my highlighter colour. I think I've used it as a lid colour a couple of times. It's these two. Mainly this pinky one, but they are amazing. They're just gorgeous highlighters. I mean, look at them. They just blend so well. They're just so soft, just so nice. Absolutely love them, and I wouldn't be without them. I think that was like a limited edition, but you could probably get something very similar at MAC as well. But yeah, absolutely love them. So, powders. I've got quite a few that I liked and disliked. So, Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder. Amazing for setting the under eyes. I've got the shade Translucent here, and I did manage to get hold of the loose powder that everyone raves about, that I had to order off Amazon in the end. You just don't sell it in the shops in the UK. But I've not gravitated towards that, so I'm not putting this video. But the pressed powder, I have got it in the shade 105 as well. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I will buy that again and again and again. It's perfect for setting the under eye. RCMA. This just lasts forever. It's perfect for setting the whole face, setting the under eye. It's a no colour powder. It's a true no colour powder. It doesn't leave a white cast, white tinge. It's super cheap. I think they still sell it on Beauty Bay, and I love it. It's just, yeah, I just love it. It's just a perfect powder, and it's, I think I paid like £6 for mine or something like that. It's just not expensive at all. Another loose powder that I absolutely love, but is messy. It's messy as is my Kimchi Puff Puff Pass. I absolutely love this. It gives me such a flawless finish, and it is messy. It's absolutely messy. I've got the shade Translucent here, and it's a set and bake powder. It says, set your makeup with this gorgeous fine powder to ensure all day slay even when you cry. Love it. This has been in my favourites videos before. It will always be in my favourites videos. I absolutely love it. It's just super, super messy. But even now, like, when I'm going like this, is like bits of powder going everywhere. My next one was my Charlotte Tilbury. This was my airbrush flawless finish, and I had the shade in 2 medium. Loved it, absolutely loved it. It was, I'm probably late to the game on this one as well, because I wait to see kind of how people feel about it before I buy it a lot of the time, especially when it's expensive makeup. But loved this. I didn't just use it on top of my Charlotte Tilbury foundation, I used it on top of a lot of other foundations, and it added a nice bronze without being too bronzy, if you know what I mean. I just absolutely loved it. One thing that I did hate was my Makeup Revolution Radiance powder, or I Heart Revolution Radiance powder in Translucent. It was super fine, really fine, and I just didn't like it. I felt like it dried out my face a little bit too much, left a little bit of a white cast, even though it's meant to be translucent. It wasn't radiant on my face at all. I didn't like it. I think I've used it once, twice, and just don't gravitate towards it at all. Maybe I just need to find the combination of foundation that I like with it, but that I didn't particularly like at all. Okay, so some primers. So, primer that I really liked at the moment is my Urban Decay Rehab Makeup Prep, and this is all scratched away for some reason. I don't know why. It just gets thrown in my drawer and all gets scratched away. This is a really good hydrating primer, and my skin is like super dry at the moment, and this just gives me just a really hydrating base without being like greasy, and it smells nice as well, which always helps, doesn't it? It smells nice as well, which always helps, doesn't it? But like you say, it's just a really, really hydrating base. Very much like the Embryolisse, which I have run out of, which is I wouldn't bob it in a favourites, the Embryolisse, but you know, I will buy it again. But that one, it's hydrating without being greasy, which I really, really, really like, and a lot of my foundations sit well on top of it. I do find a lot of my foundations are mainly water based, which, you know, probably helps, but it just, anything that I throw at it being a hydrating primer, it sits well, because some hydrating primers I do find, if you do put the slightest amount on that's just a little bit overboard, a little bit too much, then everything starts to separate on the skin, which we don't want. We hate that. We hate that. The e.l.f. Power Grip Primer as well. Absolutely loved it. Is it worth the hype? It's absolutely worth the hype. I put it on, it goes like a really sticky base. I haven't got the Milk Primer, the Milk Makeup Primer that everyone says this is a dupe for. Maybe I'll buy it and see if it is a dupe, but this, it works for me. It's a really, really nice primer, and it does say that you need to wait 30 seconds before applying your makeup. So I always kind of put my primer on, then do my eyes, and then do my base, and it's a lovely like sticky consistency when you're putting it on. Absolutely love it. I would purchase this again. And one of my absolute favourite primers this year was my W7 Princess Potion Complexion and Boosting Primer. Now this is a water-based primer, if I can read that correctly, and it's got like a little dropper, and it's purple. Here's the little dropper. It smells amazing. It smells almost like bubble gum, but it's not drying. It leaves a sticky consistency, almost pretty much as sticky as the ELF primer as well, but it's a liquid and not like a gel. I just love it. Everything I've thrown at it, it's taken. It's, you know, it's brilliant for every day. It's brilliant for full coverage. Absolutely loved it. It was one of the best primers I've ever bought. I'll be gutted when it runs out, and I hope I can get hold of it again because I'm not sure that they still sell it. I will be buying another one. And I have got a primer that I hated, which is a Revolution Pro. I feel like I'm like really being harsh on Revolution, but they do bring out so many products that you're gonna have as many in the fails as you do in the favourites, because it's like every other week they bring something out, isn't it? But this was the Revolution Pro 24 Karat Serum Primer. It wasn't bad, it was just that once you got it on, it's got like these gold flecks in it. I don't know if you can see them. See those gold flecks? And then you rub it in and they're meant to melt away. But like, they're still there. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. They're still there, and I was rubbing and I was rubbing and I was rubbing, and it was breaking. It's like now it's breaking down the gold flecks. It's breaking them down, but they're not dissolving. And that's my issue. It's very, very hydrated. It's got literally no smell, but even at flecks, gold flecks, gold flecks, gold flecks, gold flecks. I've been rubbing the entire time I've been talking, and there's still gold flecks. I mean, they're only tiny, they're only minuscule. They probably don't bother a lot of people, but they bother me because they shouldn't be there. Are the gold flecks necessary? Is it just to make it look a little bit fancy? You know, sometimes fancy and bougie isn't always better. Okay, so foundations. I have got in my favourites. Well, I'm going to go for my drugstore favourite first. L'Oreal True Match. Enough said. Absolutely love it. Will always continue to buy it. It is an amazing foundation and I love it. It's one of my absolute favourites of like all time. And my other favourites are now all high-end. So my Armani Luminous Silk. My sister absolutely loves this. Now, this is the shade 6. I usually go for 525. But my sister's stolen the little bit that I had left because she'd run out and she was going a night out and she needed a foundation. So she stole it. So I've got the shade 6, which is a little bit dark, but we make it work like we always do. Love it. It's pricey. It's really pricey, but when you put it on, it lasts all day. It covers absolutely everything and it will last all day long. And it doesn't cake you up. Doesn't make you look too matte. Gives you that lovely, lovely glowy look. And apparently that's the trend for 2023, glowy look, but not over coverage, which it is a happy medium. I do love it. I love it. And another one was my Lancome Tint Miracle, and I've pulled out the shade 045, but I've got this in a couple of shades that I do mix together. Again, super pricey. This is a hydrating foundation for a healthy look, and it's got an SPF of 15 in it. And it gives me coverage without being too much coverage, which is what I want at the moment. I want coverage, I want to cover my spots, I want to cover my wrinkles, or at least hide them a little bit without looking cakey and too much. And this just absolutely does it for me, along with the YSL All Hours foundation. Again, this is quite a full coverage, but it doesn't cake me out. You just need to be a little bit sparing with it. Don't go overboard. That's the trick with the full coverage foundations. Don't get me wrong, I love full coverage. Absolutely love it. All the products, put them on my face. You can put them all on my face. But I don't want to look cakey. And I don't want to... I want to look like I've got makeup on, but not too much makeup. Some full coverage foundations can be completely too much for me and my skin and my texture and my wrinkles, whereas this full coverage foundation really does do it for me. I absolutely love it. I love the consistency, I love the formula, and I probably always have it in my collection. So a few that I hate. So this one, Conceal and Hydrate from Makeup Revolution. I don't know when I bought this, but I tried it a couple of weeks ago because it's been sat in my drawer, and I bleeding hated it. It was just cake-care. It's meant to be medium to full coverage, and it's definitely covered me up, and I didn't like the consistency. I don't think all the products sat well on top of it, and I do think it made me look a bit cakey. Maybe I went a bit overboard with it, I don't know, but I tried it a couple of times and it didn't, you know, for a Conceal and Hydrate, I didn't expect it to hold my oils at bay, because even though I've got dry skin, by midday I can look a bit oily because it's like my skin's working overtime to compensate for the dryness. But it made me, it's like the Armani Luminous Silk and even like the L'Oreal True Match, by the middle of the day I just have a nice shine. You know, I don't look greasy or oily in any way, I've just got a shine. With this I looked greasy, I looked like an oil slick, if you know what I mean. It isn't an overly expensive one, I think I paid £10 for it. It just didn't work for me and my skin type. And another one I didn't like, don't come at me, the IRL Filter foundation from Revolution, the long wear foundation, breathable soft matte, in real life. And it just didn't work for me, it didn't work for my skin, but it just didn't sit well on my skin. Again, my skin is changing. It's not what it used to be. Now I am well into my 40s. I'm 43 in like a week's time. So my skin is changing. It is a lot drier than it used to be. But not dry all the time. It's so hard to describe. But yeah, I'm definitely being hit by hormones, and foundations that would have probably worked for me a couple of years ago aren't working now. Maybe that's what it is. But I will, you know, I'll give it another go. But I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So I probably won't get that again. I definitely won't get that again. Don't know why I'm saying probably won't, definitely won't. Okay, so some eyeshadow palettes. I'm just sitting back and relaxing here now, you know. I'm not gonna throw myself in your face anymore. So I've got like 4 palettes here in my favourites. I didn't really have any palettes that I disliked. There's never really any palettes that I dislike because I can always kind of get them to work for me. There's a lot that work better than others. There always is going to be, whether it's high-end or drugstore. There is some drugstore that work better than high-end in my opinion, but these were just ones that I kind of used a lot in 2022. So my first one was a Morphe one, 35S Sweet Oasis. There was a couple of others that I have gravitated towards quite a bit, but this was just, I had a lot of colours that I liked, so this was the one that I really picked out as, you know, gravitated towards quite a lot, because it's got your muted browns, it's got your pinks, it's got your greens, so it's just a gorgeous palette. I got this in a sale, like I generally do everything because I'm a cheapskate, and you know, who doesn't love a bargain? I think I got it half price, like £12.50, and I got it last Christmas, and during the year I've used it in the winter. I used it quite a lot in the summer. I've used it in the winter, more these muted tones, like these here. That's a shimmer, even though it looks matte. That is like a matte colour, it's like a grey colour almost, this one here. But then in the summer you've got all these pinks and greens, and it's definitely a really good all year round palette. And I will continue to use it in 2023. So one of my next favourites was my BH Cosmetics Venom. So I've got a few favourites from BH Cosmetics, and I do love them as a brand, but they're not around anymore, so we're gutted. And I think I used this recently. I think I used it for my New Year's look. I definitely used it for my New Year's look. So I do play with makeup that much. I don't know what I've used or what I haven't used, but I do gravitate towards it quite a lot as a cool tone palette. I don't have a lot of cool tone palette, but this is one that I'm glad that I bought. And again, I think I got this in the sale, and it's just got some gorgeous, it's not got a black, which I'm not mad about, because it's got this here which is called Bad Blood, and that is an absolute favourite, like purple almost. Let's swatch it for you, and they're just so soft, like a mauve. Just absolutely love it, but it's got like a grey tone in it as well. It's hard to describe, it really is. It has got, one thing that does disappoint me is it's only got 3 mattes, but then it's got 6 shimmers. So I do wish it had some more mattes in it, because I do only really put shimmer on the lid. So, but crease colour, outer corner, any of these on your lid, brow bone, you know, brilliant. And it's brilliant for like Halloween looks and things as well. And another palette that I gravitated towards quite a lot was a Tough Girl from Rude Cosmetics Blackjack 21 palette. Now again, I got this on sale. I say that a lot, I got this on sale, but if you can get it on sale, get it on sale, why not? I got this from Superdrug, and I think I paid like 15 quid for it, and it should have been like 25, so it is edging more towards the high end rather than the drugstore. But I've just loved it, and I created some lovely looks with it. That black, Bad Influence, one of the most amazing blacks ever, and I probably will try some more products from Rude Cosmetics based on my experience with that. One of my absolute favourite palettes of 2022 was my Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival The Antidote palette by Stacey Marie, and if you haven't seen this palette 1,000 times, there it is. It is beautiful. It's got greens, it's got browns, it's got reds. It's just, for me, it's more of an autumn fall palette, but you've got pinks and whatnot in there that you could probably do spring looks with. You've got your greens that you could do more springy looks with. It's definitely a warm toned palette, but I absolutely love it, and I've gravitated towards it quite a lot. That is it. Yeah, that is definitely it. I hope you enjoyed this favourites and fails video for 2022, and let me know what your favourites are down below. If there's anything I should try, if there's anything you want me to try, or if there's any looks you want me to film for you, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will give them a go. You know me, I will throw my head into the makeup pot face first, because I just love makeup and I love trying new looks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. It really makes my day. And if you've got this far in the video, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye!